Ottawa promised not to grow Canada's deficit beyond $40 billion, and despite billions in new spending, today's budget delivered on that promise. The deficit this year is $39.8 billion. That's dropping to $20 billion by 2028-2029, up from $18.4 billion projected in the fall economic statement.
This budget is our path forward. Together, we will unlock the door to the middle class for more Canadians.
The Liberal government is achieving that goal by launching its new revenue generators, including tax changes this year, while many of its new programs aren't projected to start until after the election.
It's very clear when you compare with the previous budget and fall economic statement and this budget that the government doesn't think that moving towards a balanced budget is necessary. They think that is spending in areas that they think are important for Canadians.
Among the $52.9 billion in new spending, $1.5 billion over 5 years to launch pharmacare, $6.1 billion over 6 years for a new Canada disability benefit that would see payments issued starting in July 2025, and $2.5 billion for a new Canada carbon rebate for small businesses that would return fuel charge proceeds dating back to 2019 to about 600,000 businesses.
There are two ways to balance the budget, or at least to minimize the increase in the deficit. One is to increase taxes. The other would have been to reduce program expenditures in the federal government, and there was very little of that that's included.
The government has spent much of the last 2 weeks making pre-budget housing and affordability announcements. Today, more details. Ottawa intends to create student and non-market housing by offloading space in federal lands, offering $1.1 billion over 10 years to Public Services and Procurement Canada to reduce its office space by 50%. The Department of National Defence will explore redevelopment of its properties for military and civilian housing, and the government will look into redeveloping Canada Post properties as well.
I think what they're doing on land is quite smart. We have more Canada Post locations in this country than we have Tim Hortons, so that's a lot of redevelopment opportunities.
But while there were rumors of a potential wealth tax to compensate for new spending, the government instead is increasing the tax rate on capital gains from half to 2/3, a move that will impact individuals who earn gains of over $250,000, which currently affects about 0.13% of individuals. 12.6% of corporations will feel the impact.
It is a younger demographic that's being financially creamed, and so we needed to look elsewhere to figure out how to raise revenue. This government steps in that direction by saying they want to tax wealth more.
That new tax measure alone is expected to generate about $19 billion over 5 years, and that will help the government pay for some of its new promises. But some economists are concerned about the rising public debt charges, which this year is expected to cost about $54 billion. Bergeron-Oliver, CTV News, Ottawa.